Hey yo, back like I never left BDA. Today we're talking about One Piece chapter 926, and today, whew, I, I'm not gonna say I pondered talking about the chapter because I knew I always wanted to talk about the chapter, but I wanted to take some time, per usual with these chapters. A lot of negative comments around this chapter initially when it came out. It got better as it went on. It got a lot better. Where people came around. People started saying the chapter was good, not great. Some people said it was 10 out of 10. But that's what I expect from those people. Not a bad thing, but that's what I expect. I'm not sure how long this one is going to be because we got some information that we can talk about. How we're going to go through it. Chapter 926, The Prisoner Mind. And that's the Japanese box translation. Tomorrow we should have the analysis out with the guys, or Tuesday actually, where we go in depth on the Viz translations. So the cover page is Chopper and Law studying medicine with a knowledgeable tortoise and Crane. This is interesting solely because we've always talked about Chopper and Law being the best doctors in One Piece that we know of. And of course, no, not now that Marco is a doctor, we throw him in there. But who would be the better doctor, Chopper or Law? Leave that below. Who do you think is a better doctor, Chopper or Law? That should be your first comment on this video. Who is the better doctor, Chopper or Law? Or if you had a pirate crew, who would you want to be your doctor, Chopper or Law? Removing strength from it, solely as doctors, who would you want? Because if you add strength, I think everyone would want Law, someone as strong as Law, to just be their doctor. But skills-wise, and what they present with their devil fruits, well, for Law specifically, who would you rather? So that's it from the cover page. Let's get into the chapter, the flower capital of Wano country. And for the longest, I've thought of the flower capital and that tree, right? It reminds me of Zou. And when I think about it, I think that Wano and Zou may be a lot more intertwined than we first thought. We know that Zou was destined to walk for 1,000 years. It's interesting if someone had that ability from back then to give Zou that order to walk for 1,000 years. Now, I made a theory about it before in which I compared it to the gods, in which one of the gods, it got sentenced to do something for 1,000 years. I forget exactly what the theory is, but I'll link it below. Thought it was interesting, but Zou and Wano may be a lot more intertwined than we thought, more than just happenstance. Because how they phrased it was that they happened upon Orochi and Nekomamushi, which is interesting, right? But we'll see exactly what's to come with that. Chapter talks about a ghost man appearing, another sighting, and of course, one can assume and surmise that is probably Brook going around and doing things, and that we talked about this before, in which that could definitely cause Orochi to go into a frenzy, because Orochi, we know for a fact, he's scared of ghosts of the past. Maybe not literally. He's doing a lot to prevent things, prophecies from coming true. So for him to say, for people to say that, yo, this ghost has appeared again, that more than likely we'll get to Orochi, and Orochi may have an issue with it and may do something drastic based on this, because we already know based on things he's done, the fella's paranoid. Another thing was that we saw there's a street murderer. A street murder occurred on the 8th Street of District 2. Now, the reason behind these murders, we don't know exactly, but I would assume that these murders are not done with ill will, and they are actually justified. But they're by Kamazo, the manslayer. And I think Kamazo is slowly taking out people aligned with Orochi and Kaido. Killing them is not something typical in One Piece. That's not something that Luffy would do. Maybe Zoro back in the day. Sanji if you push him. However, him killing people is viewed now as a murder, but I would assume that this is justified. Of course, people say that murder is never justified. Killing someone is never justified. And I don't know. I feel like my stance on this changes sometimes, because I feel like if you have to defend yourself or someone you care about, people you care about, if that happens, so be it. But if it can be avoided, you try to avoid that. Because life is, it cannot be replaced. It cannot be brought back. You cannot. There's no reanimation in real life. But in the manga, killing is part of the plot. I don't mind killing in manga because it makes things a bit more interesting. Now, sometimes too much death waters down the actual impact of such. However, in One Piece, I welcome it. I always welcome it. Now, as far as the person, Kamazo the Manslayer, and instantly I said Kamazo the Manslayer, and you know how us as One Piece fans, we draw conclusions to different things, different small iterations, like Kamazo. Like, is he a mink? But people think he's actually, you know, somewhere like that. But I think more than likely it's Kawamatsu. That's my first inclination to think that this is Kawamatsu going around trying to send a message all these years. But he's a prominent guy because a lot of people saying it's none other than Kamazo the Manslayer. May not even be him. Maybe he has that reputation. People just thinking it's him. Thing is, we had another character, the Witching Boy, the Witching Hour Boy has returned. Essentially, Wano's Robin Hood. He steals money from the rich and shares it with the poor. And they say, who is this boy? Is he an ally of justice or is he evil? That's always a difficult argument because stealing from the rich and giving from the poor technically is evil, but morally you view it in a good light. Because you can think for rich people, they don't need the money that he's stealing. That's how you view things. That's why people look at athletes a lot of times and they say, oh, they should just suck it up. They're getting paid anyway. Where they don't really care about emotional distress, mental health. It's just about financial security. So for the Witching Hour Boy, stealing money from the rich, yes, it's viewed in a good way because typically in stories like these, rich people are snobs and they have a lot more than they actually need. And we saw the people in Wano, how poor they really are, in which they're given scraps and they're eating poison food, poison water. So in this case, it's viewed in a good light. That goes back to morality and how good and bad is viewed in One Piece from the Marines and the pirates, how Luffy's viewed in comparison to Akainu, where people view Luffy as a good guy and Akainu as a bad guy, in which Akainu is actually, in the grand scheme of things in the world, the good guy. But Luffy is the bad guy. But like Doflamingo says, whoever wins make the rules. So it comes down to that. Usopp and those guys, they're passing out the Crescent Moon, the waning Crescent Moon. And I'm not sure how prominent this guy is going to be that they gave it out to with the two swords. But he got past the Crescent Moon thing and didn't even realize it. So we'll see how intricate he is in the story. But I think he's going to have a prominent role. It's funny that he even noticed that it got given to him. So we'll see how that plays out. And we saw a lot more people receive it. These people, they look strong. You know, in anime and manga, when you see someone, you can tell, hey, that person looks pretty strong. They look strong. And the idea around it was that they're getting this because the Kozuki family has returned. Now, when I thought about that, I always thought that people are going to question it and be on opposite sides of the spectrum. We saw Ashura Doji and how he felt about it. And I expect a lot of people to feel the same way he feels, especially if you don't know what the plan was. And for 2 decades, you waited around for these people and now they decide to show up and everything is going to be all good. And they didn't give the actual reactions of all these people, but judging from the reactions, looking at some of the people and their expressions, they seem curious, but some seem pleased. Some seem upset. Some you really can't tell. So for me, I think we're going to get different reactions. I think they're all going to show up. Maybe 1 or 2 might not because they're over it and they may feel like Ashura Doji, or some may show up just out of curiosity. But I think we're not going to garner the same response from everyone, which is it should be evident and obvious from this point, because 2 decades is a pretty long time, and being in shit for 2 decades, you become numb to some things. And even if a savior comes, you don't believe in a savior until you get saved. So again, this panel showing with this this building on top of this tree and how it grows reminds me a lot of Zoe. They talked about a person in particular. We got how he feels about it. They think is the work of ghosts, and of course with Odin being dead, and the knowledge to the people around Odin, they think it's a ghost that's going around doing these things. And of course with the sightings of Brook, we can presume is building momentum. This person gave So we had an older gentleman, he gave his reaction, and a younger gentleman. The older guy said, if it was a decade ago, I would have gone. I would be going too. He's a lot older now, but he worried about weapons. And he gave us some good information about samurai being only to have basically wooden weapons. Like, so for dojos like the karate and judo, they can't have actual weapons in their dojos. Again, this goes back to Orochi and his paranoia, in which he's going to the length of that to, I don't know, maybe stunt some of the growth of his kids by not having actual weapons in the dojos because he's worried about the rebellion. The reason why I say it stunts growth because they're never going to be in a life or death situation because they're fighting with sticks or wooden sticks, right? A lot of time you grow when you're put in situations, but you have to defend your life, defend your honor. And these people, they're not doing the same thing. But Orochi, of course, he's only thinking about Orochi. So this is what to expect. The other guy, he gave an impression of he doesn't care if he has to fight barehanded. He's been waiting and he's trembling with excitement. Again, he's a younger person, it seems. So for him, it may be a situation in which he was a lot younger when everything first happened. So he probably didn't grow up with the same awareness and knowledge of these older people. But that's just speculation. We saw Usopp, and he's out there spreading the word, saying, if you have time, just come look, listen. And the Straw Hats, they're trying to gather allies at this point because they need as many allies as they can get because, Kaido's a monster. Kaido's a monster, and for them, I think they need to outnumber Kaido to have a chance because they have a lot of allies in Wano. They need a few more to stand a chance. Kaido's crew has not been necessarily overly impressive. Been a bit top heavy. Saw King, Queen, Jack, Kaido. Other than that, the headliners have been spotty, but we'll talk more about that towards the end. It jumped around this chapter in which they talked about different scenes from time to time. And I didn't mind it because I like the fact that they're getting this out of the way so we can delve into one scene and just flesh it out. Then we go to the next scene. So they're getting all the introductions to these scenes out the way. This scene is very interesting because it's almost random. Well, when I say random, it's an unknown thing. When you first go into it, they talk about not bringing a geisha, do not let anyone approach the sitting room. Then they talk about the armament shipment order. The guy that receives the request, he says a lot of stuff. Are they planning to start a war? And I'm assuming this is the shipment for Kaido's guys. But the guy responds, I'm not familiar with the situation outside this country's borders. Our job is to make what they ask for. It's a weird dialogue because I've read it for a while and I'm still, okay, what are they talking about? The guy who's saying, here's the next armament shipment order, seems like he's ordering from Kaido's guys. He says, you're the quite evil one. He said, huh, you think so? He said, oh, this is a lot of stuff. Are they planning to start a war? If you look at it from that way, him getting a request from Kaido's guys doesn't make sense. So you would assume it's one of Kaido's guys trying to get stuff from the outside because, Kaido wants to start a war. This is interesting because from the dialogue box, the guy that receives the request says, I'm not familiar with the situation outside this country's borders. Our job is to make what they ask for. It's odd. Hope if you guys give me your thoughts below on that exchange. However, the main purpose of this, it was to show that Nami, Shinobu, they're looking in on this situation, right? And Nami's looking at it. Shinobu she's saying, my eyesight has gotten worse. Don't sweat the small stuff. Just keep an eye on it calmly. And this is a lot funny as you go along the scene because they realize Nami's looking at them and they start attacking the ceiling. Nami's running away, screaming in her brain. Shinobu's literally screaming. And what's hilarious here, they call Nami a novice kunoichi. In which Nami's looking like the veteran in the situation because don't sleep on Nami, the cat burglar. In which in these situations, Nami shines in espionage. Shinobu seems to be pretty bad at it, in which Nami goes so far as to say, you're being too loud, Shinobi-chan. Right? And she's telling her to stay quiet. So Nami in this situation, even though she's an understudy of Shinobu, the cat burglar is still alive, baby. Because Nami was even so smart to make a sound as a cat. And Shinobu still screams. So there's a person and a cat. So this is One Piece comedy that we love. It's great. It's great. Shinobu makes a ninja arts glider and they get out of there. but they have the information they need, in which they know a shipment of weapons will be coming. So that's interesting. So when we go back to it, Nami says she sees the name and the port of the day the ship is leaving. Right? So based off of that, a ship is leaving Wano. So the request was made to people in Wano. Okay, now it's a lot more clear. So back to the situation. This guy is coming to make a request to Kaido and those guys to get stuff from Kaido. You know, Kaido, he has factories and he's making shit. So this guy, this outsider comes and he's asking for a lot of stuff. And the guy that gets a request, he says, are they planning to start a war? And he even, it's like the other guy does not respond because he continues, I'm not familiar with the situation outside this country's borders. Our job is to make what they ask for. So after that guy gives him the order, he says, you're quite the request. The guy who gets the request says, you're quite the evil one. And the guy that makes the request said, huh, you think so? Then the guy that makes the request goes along about his dialogue in which, oh, you guys are super evil. We just make what you asked for, what they asked for. A lot more interesting. So the weapons are leaving Wano. It's funny because Shinobu even goes on and said, I forget to mention this, Nami, but I have a fear sharp objects. And Nami's like, yo, you're totally unfit for battle. Shinobu says being an attractive older woman is also a weapon in and of itself. Where Shinobu's great. I like Shinobu. She's funny. Every interaction with her is going to be hilarious, so I can't wait to see how that plays out, right? Next, we go to my boy Sanji. And with Sanji, of course, the plan was for him to cook and to garner some attention and recruit. Sanji, in true Sanji fashion, is recruiting women. I don't know what else we expected, right? We know he was going to recruit women. And of course, I think is going to serve its purpose, in which he's going to get a great recruit. But of course, in the beginning, Oda plays into these gags and the characterizations of how we know these characters to be. So I expected Sanji to serve to women, at least at first. So he's saying, come and have a taste, ladies. And of course, Sanji, he's killing it with the cooking, and that's what he does. Sangoro, especially soba noodles, right? Nami, he looks at him like, yo, he hasn't been gathering samurai at all. It's just hilarious. But what's interesting from this panel, from this page, we have a guy that says, that boy, does he have any idea who this island belongs to? There were a few things that people speculated it could be. Could be either a calamity in particular, or it could be this person was just talking about in general. It's Kaido. Kaido's or Orochi's. I think it's talking about someone in particular, calamity in particular, maybe Queen in particular, in which this person may be an understudy, or this person may be someone who could be an ally who's like, yo, does this boy have any idea who this island belongs to? Who's kind of perplexed as to why this guy is so outlandish doing these things. We got to wait and see. The meat of this chapter centered around the mines, I think, and I think that's what people discuss the most. But I'm not going to talk too much about this. Well, I'm going to talk about everything that transpired here. But as far as getting too deep between the KID and Luffy situation, not so much, because I think that deserves its own video. But I'm going to give you as much as I can. We figure out the situation along the mines. These people are forced to work for kibidangos. You get one piece of kibidango for moving 5 big rock blocks. So for Luffy and KID, when we see them, they're carrying these rock blocks pretty easily. Luffy with 2 arms, KID with 1. At first I was saying KID is probably stronger than Luffy because he's using 1 arm. Let me ask you guys this. Does the amount of sea stone that's affecting you affect your strength? I think so. And for now, Luffy has on 2 shackles of sea stone while KID has 1 on. So that could be an equalizer in which KID is using 1 arm as opposed as with Luffy did 2. That's how I'm viewing it now. And I know people going to troll and say what they want, but that's how I'm viewing it, in which they're equal. That's what Oda's trying to portray. Oda's very smart and meticulous. You do that on purpose, in which you show that KID has 1 metal sea stone cuff while Luffy has 2. Another thing, Luffy and those guys, they're being viewed as monsters, okay? And as far as like how they're carrying all these shit around with their power depleted, and they even talked about their healing. They said those 2 were seriously injured, weren't they? What's with their bodies? And people are saying, well, KID has gotten there for a while. How is he healed already? He should be healed already, as opposed to Luffy who just got there. I think what they were talking about is when they initially got there, they didn't get any treatment, but they're healed and they're doing their thing. As far as KID could be a lot more inspired now because Luffy is there And now you have someone to kind of bounce off of, someone you got to best. So this is being used as somewhat of a training ground in which they're strengthening their base. So when they get out of these Sea Stone Cups, we should see two very powerful characters. The problem here is that we don't know how powerful Kid is already as far as specifics. So what we see from Kid, we're going to be like, okay, that's just how he was from the get, right? And again, Oda's going out of his way to show Luffy and Kid is equals. Now, as much as these guys are alike, they're very different fundamentally, how they go about things. What's the same though is that they're both competitive. They both want to be the king. They're both fighting to be the best. They're trying to break their spirits, but they don't have the people necessary to do so. They have a bunch of weak people that shouldn't even be in the same room with these guys. And you're asking them to break their spirit. After you see that they're fodderizing the duties, you up it. Or you put them in something different because they're obviously a different class of prisoner. They don't do that. They let them go out and they're getting all the Kibidango. Now, Strong Boy Doban, the deputy warden, Hippo Smile User, which is one of the worst looking smile fruits ever, one of the worst looking devil fruits ever, he pops up and he's like, yo, who's eating all the Kibidango? And they're telling him, yo, they earned their food because they moved the rocks. You see Luffy and Kid, and I think at first I viewed it could be serious. I thought it would be serious. But when you look at it, it's a gag, which Luffy's large, Kid is large. And I think for me, it's these things rub me the wrong way because of how Tankman was. And how I felt like Tankman took Cracker out in I don't know. It wasn't a noble way. It was just gag worthy. And some people are okay with it. It didn't sit right with me, but I don't mind it. Again, the Hippo Smile is the worst. I'm not sure what's up with it. But they talked about if you try to fight back with the guard. They said your arms will be cut off the first time you do it. And your legs will be cut off if you do it again. The third time you do it, you'll be last. It'll be your last, and you'll be executed on the spot. Keep that in mind. During these panels, Luffy and Kid did look pissed. And people were speculating that Kid lost his arm at this time because of that. But I think Kid, with the Sea Stone Cups, cannot maintain that metal arm that he has due to the fact that it is being attached and moved with his nerves and all that stuff due to his devil fruit. So I don't think he opposed them to get his arms cut off. We also saw Caribou. And Caribou is in Wano. 100%. And if you remember, Caribou was captured by X-Drake. And Caribou knows everything about Shiroshi. So Caribou being in Wano is very interesting because he can definitely cause a stir. We also see the guy in the cage and his eyes. And we'll see exactly what his motive is. Because they're going to break out. Luffy and Kid, they're going to break those guys out. They're definitely going to break those guys out. Somehow, this Hippo guy, he tries to eat Luffy and Kid. They beat his ass. And they come out with the old guy that they ate earlier. It's funny. Because Kid and Luffy, they walked out like bosses. Because seeing Kid, I think is great. Now, for me personally, just due to how much disrespect he went through off of losing to Kaido. But the thing is, the Luffy fans, they have to come around. Not fans, Luffy stands, they have to come around because Luffy got one shot. He got one shot, so they know, okay, if our captain got one shot like that, what we want a Kid to do. So seeing Luffy and Kid beat this guy up pretty casually is great. It's really great. They said that they are the two prisoner stars of hope. And obviously they're the hope because they're the two strongest. How they're going about things is impressive. Kid is looking like a boss, and Oda's going out of his way to portray Kid. Oda's going out of his way to portray Kid as Luffy's equal. And I think a lot of us, we speculated that in some way that Luffy and Kid, those are going to be the guys. But a lot of people, they did not care about the reasons or how everything played out because they had their own interpretations of Kid. Because Kid lost in the New World, he's weak. Because Kid got lost to Kaido, he's weak. I think Kid is changing the narrative on that, in which people are forced to say, oh, I'm Team Kid now. In which there's nothing wrong with that, but you can't really talk shit because you were on the Kid hate train for years. So again, pretty short discussion about the chapter. All in all, I think it was really, really good. It was really, really good because of everything we got from it. And again, seeing Kid and Luffy's interactions and seeing them in action, beautiful. Beautiful. I can't wait to see what happens in chapter 927. Leave your thoughts below on the chapter. Give me your ratings. Don't forget to name which doctor you'd want, Law or Chopper. And just like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Shout out to all my patrons. What's going to start happening is specific patrons to specific tiers. They're going to get named shout outs at the end of videos. So shout out to you guys. That will start beginning, not next video because I already recorded my next video, but the video after that. So I'll start doing that video after that. But thank you guys so much. Like the video if you did, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, if you haven't for more content like this. I appreciate all the support you guys give. Thank you so much. Catch you guys later. Peace. Yo. Another thing I wanted to do for you guys is to answer some questions based on some comments that I haven't gotten to in a while. So I may be doing this at the end of a lot of videos to maybe respond to a lot of questions, to put a few answering a few comments. So you may be showing up in the comments. The more you comment, the more the more you comment, the more likely your comment will show up in this video. So for the first comment, Little X Chicken, can you do a One Piece tournament as well? We've already done that. Swordmist Mihawk says, Mihawk really have no interest in bringing down the world government. That is why it is unlikely the Navy will chase them. People who have openly defied the world government and have massive numbers and influence like Luffy, Blackbeard, and Kaido are in the world government reticle because they are dangerous in terms of shifting the world's perspective on the world government. The government lost their minds when Luffy took down their warlords and erect in its lobby because it made them look weak. Anything that embarrasses the face of justice makes the world have less faith in the government and prompts many to overthrow the government with the revolutionaries or to become a self-dependent pirate because the government cannot protect them. It's a mouthful, shawty. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with everything you said. Mihawk really, as far as we know, have no interest in bringing down the world government. Really more so because of probably what he knows about it. And he may know that because of the information of the One Piece and what he's been through with Roger, that you need more than him. You need a bigger movement than him. So that may be the reason for that. So we'll see exactly how that plays out. But I agree with everything you said. Kylo Ren said, Dan Brago, I thought you were going to be consistent. He's talking about Grove 129. That officially launches next week. You guys can see the response right there. Date Matsamune says, King and Queen honestly looks scary. Fighting them obviously looks like a bad idea. They do look pretty strong. Think back to first and second commanders. We didn't see much from Smoothie, but Katakuri, Marco, those guys. So I expect King and Queen to be pretty damn strong. Stress beats the law is trash. Confirmed. Sea Prison Nail makes law tuck nail and run, while Luffy and Kid wearing Sea Prison handcuffs can take out a headliner. Okay, the headliners aren't all built the same. I don't think Hawkins is as weak or easy to take out as Hippo Man. So saying law is trash, and the thing is, he got the nail as a Devil Fruit user, and he got away from Hawkins and his compadres. So I don't think he's trash at all. Let's see. Resinor said the great thing about YouTube is that it allows... Okay, we're going to get some more comments. That's a bit too long. Janori says Luffy's still rubber even with Sea Stone. Okay, he is. He definitely is. Really cool chapter. Hope that the whole Sea Stone not being as effective to be consistent. Yeah, I think Luffy and him are stronger. You're right, Brago. You all have your own gags. Makes the streams mad funny. I can't recall the last stream I watched where I laughed this much. Feels like you all are comfortable with talking about serious topics and making jokes about yourselves. That's the energy I love. Thank you, Edward SSS. We definitely have a great time in the streams. Lando's voice is so annoying. I don't agree. They're overthinking things. This was a really good chapter. No, we said it was good. It just wasn't great. I don't think it was a great chapter. Emmanuel says, Oda got to be trying to make us view Kid and Luffy on the same pedestal. I'm tired of the supernovas being steps for Luffy. I need Kid or Law to come for his neck. Emmanuel, I agree, bro. I do not want to be stepping stones and that's it for Luffy. They can help him get to wherever they need to get to in that island, but I think they need to definitely branch out and do their own thing. Sanji or Zoro in terms of usefulness of so far, Zoro in mad retard mode. That's a kind way of putting it. Itachi versus my guy, 8 Gates. Is he going to look in his eye like a man first? Yeah, we had that. That was hilarious. I hope you noticed Caribou was there in the panel before showing a Shadow Cage person, the Mudfoot user. If you remember, he got captured by X Drake during a side story. Yeah, I noticed Caribou. And, yep, I remember him being captured for sure. So I was the only one who thought this was a fast week. Yeah, the last week flew by for me. It flew by, and I was actually wondering exactly, was I tripping? I'm not sure. Maybe was Thanksgiving last week? Maybe it's because of Thanksgiving. No, Thanksgiving was here last week. I don't know. I don't know, whatever. Last week was fast. If Driz was in Luffy's position, he'd get half a Dango out of pity. Maybe. Kid has one hand right now. Uh-oh. Kid haters in hiding now. Of course, they can't say anything. They can't say shit at all. So Kamazo has to be Kawamatsu, right? I mean, he's got a ponytail. I also think Zoro's mistaken for this guy when he was first arrested. Maybe he was mistaken for this guy, but they should know that they commented on Zoro's age, so they should know it wasn't Kawamatsu. But I assume Kamazo is Kawamatsu. So now we're going to talk about the big ass stone cubes. Since particles come from Wano, they may have special cube-shaped stones and maybe made indestructible by a devil fruit after being inscribed with the ancient language. Maybe. That's an interesting topic. That's interesting. The poneglyphs, we got the big stone cubes. Poneglyphs come from Wano. The thing is, with information like that, it's great to point out. So shout out to Kaleidoscope. But it's not, we can talk about it, but the most we can talk about is about the poneglyphs and the history of Wano. We can speculate. You're interested. That may be a separate topic. That's a very interesting topic. I swear the hip and smile user was just there to make fun of Wapple. Ha! Maybe. Also, Brago, you never make me listen to F-Road. Okay. Enrus got smacked out of space by Kaido. Enrus the Larkin Legend. Okay. Just thinks you can call the child the most boring one ever and not receive any backlash. Imagine being extended to your favorite manga being criticized. They guess going back and forth with each other. Brago, you can't use a one-arm thing for shit, and his argument for Kid being stronger, that's like speculating how strong Shanks would be with both arms. Kid's arm is gone and won't be back. You can't use his metal arm without his devil fruit, so if you add that, you have to give Luffy his powers back too. Also, the metal arm don't have muscle, so basically it's a prosthetic. Of course, when he uses devil fruit, he can lift more, but it does look like Oda's push for Kid and Luffy to be equals. I agree. How did this become about for Neverworld? We just go into random conversations all the time. Tai enters beast mode. Just to drag down, he should just quit reading the series. He has garbage opinions and is always pessimistic. Any One Piece fan who doesn't enjoy the Kid and Luffy scene should just quit. Emotionless fuck. I don't agree, Derek. He's just Dritz. That's how Dritz is. The drag down. Don't worry, Brago, this happens to me. Don't worry, Brago, this happens to me. You ain't the only butchering while reading. Fuck, that ironic that happened at this time. Brago, if you're wondering why Caribou is there, is because X-Ray captured in the cover story. Guys, I know about this cover story. Jesus Christ. Maybe I gotta make a video on that. Maybe that's next. Brago, congratulations. Channel has come far. Thanks to my boy Gold Josie. That's my guy. Gotta get him on the stream soon. That hat looking crusty, boy. So yeah, I know I need a new one. Love your vids and streams, man. Kid and Luffy are on the same level, I agree. But saying that Kid is the GOAT, stretch, bruh. Stretch as fuck. Maybe. Driss is confirmed Yonka level hater. If the headlines are trash, then why is it that Zoro is the only one who's never defeated any? Speaks volumes. And of course, when you talk about Zoro, yeah, a lot of people responding. So Luffy couldn't one-shot one either. The same headliner, Hawkins. Zoro the only one who can't beat one-shot headliners. Oh, man. You already know. Fuck you, Driz piece of shit. Jesus Christ. Just getting a lot of backlash from that last comment saying it was boring or he didn't enjoy it, which he has a right to do. Y'all forget when they run over the plan, Kinmon said Zoro and the help were tasked with handling those cards out to the allies. So Zoro does know about the tattoo. He's just been getting lost all over the place and getting framed for murder. So Zoro essentially has been useless. Solid 7, decent chapter, like the character interactions. Agreed. Caribou is a prisoner. Yeah, seeing Caribou is hilarious. Let's see. Nobody bringing this up, and I'm surprised but Sanji is being just as useless as Zoro. So I already brought it up. Maybe we talked about it. We don't think so at all. Kamazo is definitely the last samurai. Yep. Calm down, bro. It was just a gag. He's talking about when I saw Kid and Luffy really large. I was a bit worried. Usopp does the same thing when he eats. Jesus Christ. I get it, guys. Congrats, 15K. Thank you, guys. 15K is a great accomplishment. I am ecstatic about it. The Manslayer Rurouni Kenshin reference? Of course. I mean, it was a pretty chill chapter. Nothing wrong with that. I give it a 7. I wouldn't say Kid is equal to Luffy over because of Luffy with one arm. I mean, Matawa, though. Shout out to Chris. And my boy Ezekiel. I'm thinking the opposite. Luffy's exposed to twice the amount of sea stone and is moving the blocks. Yeah, I don't think that means he's strong. I think that means they're equal. Morgan's Brago will hit 1 million. Oh, shit. Just so you know, Brago, currently you're the best reviewer doing, and you're doing a better job than even Roger and Tekking. Whoa. That is high praise. High praise, but I sincerely appreciate it. And the reason why I don't come out and I say I'm the best because my numbers don't reflect that. I'm not getting the most views. But sometimes this popularity equals quality. That's an interesting conversation for another day. But I think I would like to be in a better place, subs wise and views wise, before saying something like that. So for now, I think those guys are doing a better job than me as far as garnering the attention and the people and interest, right? In that regard. As far as quality of review, I think I'm on par with those guys for sure. But I'm not going to come out and say I'm better than them at everything because the numbers don't reflect that yet. Where did you get the idea that KID is more serious? From what we've seen of KID, when he, as far as the alliance, he didn't even want to work with these guys because he was such a loner. And now he's working with Luffy, and it's almost lighthearted. And we didn't get that from KID at any moment throughout the series. Even when Luffy wanted to work with him at Sabaody, he told him he'd kill him. So, interesting stuff. The Prison Minds read it yesterday. Dope as hell, page 9. Sanji cooking for them Wano people and not gathering samurai. Luffy and KID already carry 500 big stones to the boat. Yo, if you want to read One Piece manga, you don't have to pay. Just go to manga.com. You get it for free and not pay. You just said, shout out to Kenzie. Y'all catch Batosai causing the Rockies and Wano? Yeah, Kenshin is out here. Damn, you telling me my nigga Matt be salty because his verse ripped off Lil Jern? I guess he's salty that Lil Jern gets all the pussy now. Which is crazy, B. Yeah, so I think that's it for now. More comments maybe in other videos. Let me know what you think. Like the video, subscribe. Hopefully your comment was able to make it. I appreciate all the support and love. Thank you guys so much. I will certainly catch you guys later. Peace.